What I guess
Just hit link up top.
this here
Yes. No, sir. That right there. And just
didn't want.
let me
No, let me just tell
since
me. I want to
you
learn.
need a new link refresh, the second line. Here right there. And say okay. All right. Reset. The link is already up. Yes.
All right. Says 6 guests. I'm up live now. Okay. This is Real David here. Real David Yisrael. We certainly invite you to join me in this live broadcast. This is new to me, but I want you to share in this information, this knowledge, what things I know that is important concerning the leap year, the calendar of the Hebrew Israelites, and how that they have made a complete mockery of times and seasons. So I want to gather as many as I can in the room, and I'm going to begin at the first principles of the deception, of the lies of the feast days, and when it's time to have them, what is the appropriate time. And so I want us to someone let me know if you're here. Give me a chat. Let me know. This is a new experience for me on this. I got my Yahoba in Dallas, Texas. Yowasadak here. We're trying to improve on this. This is a new beginning for me because we need to understand. Yabaruk, my friend, Miss B, we certainly welcome you to this chat. You have questions, and let us for this time let everything be about the Mo'adim, the feast days, the times, and all of that, because we as students we have been deceived, we have been hoodwinked. We don't know because we tend to follow a tradition that is fraudulent. And it's nothing but total lies. And I will show you the standards of evaluation of days and how. I will show you how pagan, the Ikonach, the purpose of that, how that they use that for Easter and many of the pagan celebrations. Why would Yah tie into that? It is simply a flat out corrupt lie. And I'm going to dismantle it, disprove it, and all during the winter. I am coming on during the week to teach on this and nothing else. I want you to get your scholars and all, because they're full of their lies. And we as a people, we're very gullible. We just believe. I know that when I began to honor the Mu'adim, we baruch you, Rafael Ikhlaki. When I began many years ago, I was taken under the same delusion. I didn't know I was ignorant. But I'm a student of studying. I've learned everything by studying and identifying my wrongs. And so I followed the same pattern because I didn't know. I regarded those that had, I've preached for over 40 some years, so I'm not a child. I'm an old man. You just look at my beard. And that is the concept that I followed, but I could not see that in Torah. Yabaruch, Charles D. And I could not see it in the Torah. You can't find it. We see the intercalary, an extra month in the book, and that is just totally a flat out lie. We look at the numerics of Yah. 13 is the number of apostates. And this is how that this whole cycle began. Let me just show us here at the top. You can see that. There was one by the name of Hillel. He was of the Sanhedrin, Rabbinical Supreme Court. Let me remind us that all of these concepts are generated out of what they call the Lubavitch. These are those that call themselves Jews, which I have no compunction about because I am not a Jew. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and there are those that debate that. This is a made-up word. It has no authenticity. It is a word that is simply made up. And Hilya of the Rabbinical Council of the Lubavitch, I recall as a young man, my early days of walking with every year we only had PBS. We did not get internet and all that's in 1984. I was one of the first persons to have that, and it opened up a broad spectrum of me engaging into liturgy and study. And I would watch during Hanukkah. These are the same people don't believe you can write, you can't do anything on that day or the Hamodim of Yom. And I will watch at that time the leader. His name was Menachem Shirsan, smallish of a man, beard down to his waist almost. And they would begin to sing songs in their language. I liked the songs. I didn't know what it was saying, but it was a very beautiful song. And the old man would stand up and everything would get quiet. And these are the same people that do not believe that you can really turn your lights on the Shabbat. This is the orthodoxy. When the old man would stand up, everyone would get quiet. And they would broadcast that throughout the world. They would pan to Los Angeles, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, places like that, Russia, places in China, all over the world, all over Europe. And I would sit and watch that. I watched it for the performance. And I watched it because I was ignorant. But the people fell to these lies. And so Hillel is the one that's the Supreme Council even before Menachem. And they instituted this. We can see right here, while the Sanhedrin's Rabbinical Council persists in Jerusalem, notice there was no set calendar. They would evaluate every year to determine whether it should be declared a leap year. Stop there for a moment. Show me any place in Torah where the word leap year is used. Is this some kind of made-up thing? Show me anywhere in Torah where you find the word leap year. Show me. I will repent now. I'm a student of this book. And it was determined, and I will show us in a moment. There's a cycle. Look here. It is called the Metanic or Metanech cycle. It was developed in Helios calendar ran through the 19th century cycle. But the Metanech, this one that was an astronomer, that he began to, he's the one that created this moon phase reoccurring the same day on the solar calendar of the year and season. And so he created, his name is, I know his name, but it's just, what is his name? Yeah, it's over my name. But I have him here in this list. But it is called the Metanech. It says this Metanech or Metanic cycle. It is a chronologue of a period of 19 years. There are 335 lunations, and that is simply the average time from one moon to the next, or synod month. After the moon phase reoccur, here's his name, His name was Melton. He was an astrologist from, he was a Grecian. Recall the same day of the solar year or the year of the season. The cycle was discovered by Meton. This is supposed to happen in 432 before the Common Era. He was an Athenian astronomer. And this is the way that the computation of days and season through this science of lunations, 6,939 days, 16 hours a day, and a solar year, it was 6,939. That's what it says here. I've searched the gamut of every kind of research there is, every form of information. I've gone through them all, from the Wikipedia to the most knowledgeable encyclopedia to research all this. I have just on this subject here probably over 1,000 pages. I didn't do this yesterday. This has been many years of just searching and studying this. And then he created this, or the Jews created this, what they call the standard leap year. I would certainly love to have you to show me in Torah where the word leap is used in conjunction with the time of Yah's feast and his seasons. Let me give us an example. Right here, it talks about the length of a standard leap year. Now, many of you all, unless you kept it with me or someone of my same inspiration, this year was from last Pesach, or from last Tabernacle, it was 383 days. I searched the web for those that are keeping the feast days. Those that say they keep the Hanukkah feast days, I've never been able to galvanize that, the 364 days. And so from Pesach to Pesach, it must be within that frame of time that either 364 days pass for us to carry out this lunation of the 12 months of a year. There is no 13 months mentioned. I searched the Torah for many years. You can't even find a 13th month in any occasion of Torah. You cannot. That's why it's important to understand these things. I've debated the ones that think they're the masters, but they bring you into the same twisted delusion every year. It's lies. Let me just show us what this intercalary year is. Can you see this here? If you can see that, just say yes. Just give me a notation. It's only a few of us, but give me a notation that you can see that. Give me a response. It says this here. An intercalary year, it happens every 3 years. So 2 years, you will keep it, and I'll prove that. Let me go here first. You all see this. I go back in history to prove all things we must. Let's see. This is 2023. Most kept that on April 6, 2023. It was 355 days from Pesach, April 16, 2022, which was 384 days from 2021. That's how many days it was. There were. And so this year, from 22 to 23, this year, you kept them at 355 days. And then from that to 24, it will be 383 days. You can see the numbers, how they add up. Every 3 years, you see this, and in the year of 28, I know exactly when you're going to keep them. But that's not the pattern that Yah grants gave us, commanded us. That's not the pattern. He did not speak of any intercalary. I beg of anyone to show me the term in the Torah. Show me any kind of thing that mentioned intercalary. It's not there. These are flat out falsehoods and lies. Those that declare themselves as Hebrew Israelite based on the content of the color of their skin, slaves were sent all over the world. Mr. Starling, in his days, he brought thousands of those from this country to Russia, not to make them slaves, because he knew they had an intellect of intelligence concerning farming and growing food, so he invited them to come. And there were thousands that went, that produced thousands of children just from this country. Skin dark, white, of that cream color. And so we have been brought under these lies. Show me one man that gets on YouTube and will explain how the feast days are concocted. He gives us the moon, that's the only sign. The Hodesh. It is not a dark moon, it's that little slither that is always the first day of the month. And we're going to discuss all these things. Winter is coming, the fall of the year. It's a little chillier. And so you tend to be in your homes more and nothing to do but to listen and learn. And these are the dubious lies that we have been taught. Tell me when your leader taught you concerning the feast days. And I search every site where they are, like this one here. From 2022, Pesach was on the 16th. And 2023, from the 16th to 2023, that was 355 days. And so next year, it will be 383 days from this, so that they can always keep things in the spring of the year. To show me you cannot even get to that time unless you use an intercalary, you add a month. And the number in the numerology of Yah, that number 13, it is a sign of an apostolic people. Their minds are twisted, their hearts are not engaged with Torah, the truth of Yah. And I have thousands of pages over the many years I've searched. I've been alone. I know there are others, but it's difficult to find them. They just don't. Hardly few exist because they know the pattern. And I would debate any man on this subject. I don't care who it is. I would debate them because I know it's lies. It's corrupt. My friends, Yah's people are scattered. The word scatter is, they are poots, P-O-O-T-S, poots. It means that they are thrown, they are harrowed into every part. They're in all nations. He did not say he was going to make one great nation out of the zero of Aram, but there will be many great nations that will come out of that seed. Well, the oil in America, that's stupid. Or the islands of the sea, that's foolish. They're scattered abroad in every nation, every country, southern hemisphere, and the northern. We're celebrating always springtime, Pesach. With those in South America, southern hemisphere, they're always in the winter. So is he the Abba, the Yah of his nation that he scattered? Is he a rebellious people that has disdain for him? Don't even know how to care for each other. We don't know what love is. And then we all attach, I love everyone. It's fraudulent. It's just not the truth. And I'm going to begin a teaching on that story in Kitvei Imat. So these are the signs here, Passover days, between each Passover. I noted that so that we will understand. And I go back to many sites. This is just some of that which I have laid out. But I have many, many more pages just on this. I said I'll utilize this today. But look at this one here. You can see that. Passover occur on the following dates from 2022 to 27. Here is the month of 2022. The Passover was from the last one from 2021 was 355 days. 355. Does that constitute a year of Chanukah? Or does it constitute a year of solar activity in this nation? It's 365, and there's a leap day that they add every so many years. So 2022 to 2023, it will be from 2022 to 2023, there will be a 383 days between the Pesach. Is that 365? Or tell me, what does that imply? It's not that, my friends. And then in 2024, it will be 355. 24 to 25, it will be 355 days. And then 2026, it will be 385. You're going to have, this is what you're going to have right here. What is called a tradition. This is a traditionally for the Babylonian Hebrew lunar solar calendar. These are the years. The year 3, 6. See, only 2 years between 6 and 8. Right here. 6, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 19 are the long months. These are 13 months. That's what they represent. 13 months. 13 months. In what they call the Metanech or the Metanic cycle. The cycle which can be used to predict the eclipse, form of the basic Greek and Hebrew calendar, and is used for the computation of the days of the date of Easter every year. I say to them all, you might as well do like the computation for Easter. Use it every year. They know it's a lie. And they know that we're gullible and we have no knowledge of things. And so we buy that. Our leaders will tell us lies because they know you're not astute. You're not going to study. Very few people study. They don't know truth from fables. And so we tend to buy the lies and everything. I have hundreds of pages on nothing but this subject. I have a file on nothing but this subject. It is not a year or 2 or 6 months. This compile of many years. Why is it that those that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, why is it? Let me see if I can go back. Hallelujah. Back to this one. Why is it that those that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, why their days do not match up? And they all will say that they have their doctrine straight from the Most High. Yet they call him Jesus, Lord, all pagans. And they can say he was black, but their minds were ingrained with this Caucasian like homosexual, this thing. I grew up in that time that everyone had that in their home, especially here in the South. A picture on the wall. And in order for those to captivate us, they put Martin Luther on one side, isn't that twisted? And John F. Kennedy. And in my neighborhood where I lived, These things and trinkets that you get in the dollar stores today, it was sold by Jewish men. They will come to our neighborhood. It was like crack and cocaine to us because the people of my hue just had to have it. There was not one home you went in did not have those depictions of that in their homes, and they simply talked about their Jesus. Not Yah, no idea whom Yah was. I heard his name over 40 some years ago, didn't know it. I was in a union with one that was out of the Church of God in Christ, Evangelist E.J. Hartsfield. He has deceased. And when he said that name to me, he said, his name is not Lord God. And he expressed unto me, his name is Yahweh. I never allowed that to elude my mind. I kept it. And I began to study as a student. You did not have, back in those days, what you see on YouTube. It wasn't even there. And I don't say that boastfully. I'm one of the first Americans to have internet. It was not of this expanse, but I had it when it first came out, when they first began. Ever since I've lived here 28 years, I've had the internet. It was the landline when it first came out. Now look at the Wi-Fi, the technology. And yet these men will lie to knowing that you are gullible. You don't love a man like me because I tell you the truth. I want you all listen. Here, right here, there's a website. This one. Let me see. Here it is right here. It is called Chabad. Chabad. And in this article, I search Jewish websites. I have called those that are the scholars of even their religion and doctrine. I've talked to those, or I have called those in Yeshiva University in New York. I've written to them. I've tried to contact many concerning this issue. And the only thing they say to me or have said, send an offering, send some money. But everyone this site, the Lubavitch, everyone visit this site, Chabad.org. The length of the Jewish year. Listen, a standard Jewish year has 12 months, 629 months, and 6 30-day months. So they have 6 months that compose of 29 days and 6 that compose of 30. For a total now of 354 days. We know that Caesar and those, the architect of the calendar that we use, is 365.5 days. This is because our months follow. This is what Yah commanded them to follow. They follow their lunar months. That's why when the word in Torah month, it is enunciated Chabad. I do Hoshech. And I can find from Bereshit with Moshe throughout the Torah, from month 1 to month 12. And we're going to open those things up for us, nation. I can find that. I can find that throughout Torah. It is Chabad. That's what the word month means. It is Choshech. That's what it is. Chodesh, which implies that it is the new moon month. Let me see. Let me show you the enunciation. Chodesh. Chodesh. That is in the Hebrew lexicon. It is the new month, monthly. And then it says this. the first day of the month. And then it gives us this information here, Chodash. It tells us the measure of time and what the word comes from, what it refers to. It gives us an example when David had hid himself in the field and when the new moon appeared. When he see the light that he had hid himself from Shaul. This is what Chodash refers to. It refers to a month on the period or the period from one new moon to another. The sense of the measure of time during which it happens and occurs. It refers to the month and the measurement of that month. And that month begins, this is what he says. The word refers to the day on which the crescent reappears. The crescent reappeared. I simply ask any of you all, question your friends and those that you have great regard to listen to. Show me the month, 13th month. Show me a mechanic 19-year cycle. Show me where y'all commands us to add days in a new month. That the Pesach every year is in the spring. He brought them out the first month. And how many times the word first month is mentioned? I got teachings on everything. And I am going to share all of that with you in the later parts of this year, the latter parts, and also in the first parts of the year that is to come. According to the secular time, not Yah's time. And so there are those that will keep tabernacle dead of winter. We always keep ours in a nice summer, hot time, and it's warm. And they always keep theirs like that. And when we do things righteously, we will keep ours in the winter. They will keep theirs in the summer. It will cycle. It'll come back to the spring and the fall of the year. That's just the truth, my friend. I ask any of you. I welcome the challenge. Tell others to listen. I welcome the challenge to challenge any man, any group. Show me in Torah. Show me where this concept is built on the principles of Torah. Yah's first month has always been the first month throughout Torah. I had one say, well, you know it's the first month because they came out in the first month. They did. He brought them out of Misraim. That's a fact. But that's all it says, the first month. And so they followed that lunar cycle. They know when the feast days were. They didn't have no intercalary. That's just not the truth. There were no days added to their months. It's not the truth, my friends. And so they are beguiling us, tricking us, and they're lying to us. Fact of the matter. These are false lies. They're from the gutters of darkness. And we celebrate these lies. You might as well celebrate Christmas. You might as well do it at Easter. He gave us a lunar cycle. He did not give us a solar. The word is only mentioned in the text of solar. It is mentioned in the word yom, and that is the day, a solar day. But it is not mentioned when it comes to the Moedim of Yah. No. How do you get 383 days in a year? 384 days or 385. I just showed us this is a standard year right here on Chabad, right here. It tells us the standard of a Jewish year. False expression. I'm a child of Yisrael. I am Zerah, the seed of Avraham. A standard Jewish year has 12 months. It has 6 29 months, has 6 30-day months, a total of either 354 days Because the month followed the lunar orbit, he put the moon there to be the sign, not the sun, but that thing that you watch. And since we've been here, we have watched, we have what we call the moon nights. We dance, we have rejoice, which is approximately 29.5 days. Due to the variation in the Jewish calendar, however, the year could be 353, 354, or 355. It was only until those Lubavitch adopted. I got a tremendous teaching on this. I got to find it. I know I have it in the pages of my study, but I don't know exactly where is it. It may be on this Metanech cycle because I have thousands of pages just on that I've studied over the many years. It says here, you see that the Metanech cycle, the Chronicles, it is a period of 19 years, which there are 235 lunations average time of the moon to be next. It is when the slither, the Chodesh, that is our sign. It's not in darkness. It's not in darkness. It's doing that slither of light. Well, the synodic months after the moon phase reoccur. See, it has to be a recurring of the moon phase on the same day of the solar year or year and season. The cycle discovered by Metan tells us 432 BC in Athens, he was an astronomer. That's a lie. And he gives us the computation of those days. But look what it says here. Do you see that? Do you see that? The length of the standard leap year, 384 days, though it could be 383 or 385. Show me the word leap in Torah. I have the Torah open. Show me the word leap year. Let me see. It's not even mentioned. You find nothing of a leap year. There must be a lie. It has to be a lie. It is false. Shalom, Peterson, Senior. I tell you, you got a very beautiful beard, my friend, a very wonderful one. And it has to be that. We cannot add or subtract anything from this book. Woe unto us and our leaders. Show me or send me a video on YouTube anywhere or a website where they explain the feast days to you, how the computation is garnered. It's either what Hanuk says, 364. I had one that was a Hanuk calendar expert. And I said, what you're saying is just flat out lies. Show me. You keep it, because he called me. So I see from last year to this year, your feast days were 353. I say yours were the same ones as well. No different. And then the next year there'll be 354 for one Pesach to the next. Then the other year there will be 354 from 3. There'll be 355. And then there is an intercalary year. They add a month. One of the most violent, evil things that you could do. That even that number 13 in the numerics of Hebrew time or Hebrew numerology, it is apostate. This is one of the most violent, evil lies there is. It is apostate. It's evil, it's wicked, and it's flat out wrong, my friends. I tell you the truth. I'd utilize the sources of nothing but the book. Show me that in Torah. Show me whereby the period of the lunations, whereby they would figure all that out and do all of that. Show me the design and what we call Torah. Show me, and I'll obey it. I'll take up that mantle today and I will fight for it. All I've been asking of all these years, someone show me. I'm an ignorant man. I want you to show me. I got evidential proof. Ask them that you know. From the last year they kept the Moat, Pesach. Count to the next one. How many days are there? Well, we got to use the equinox. That's a lie. That word did not become part of our graphics until the late 13th century to 14th century. Tell me what Abraham and those, tell me what Moshe and those, what did they use? This is of the same pagan actions of Easter. They might as well do what they do for Easter. Just wait for that. And then at least you will have the same days numerically when you begin your seasons. They don't even do that. They cover it with lies. But that's the length of a standard leap year: 383 days, 384, and 385. That's a standard leap year. And that is what they are. And that is what it produced. Show me where it's 383 days from one month to the next. I beg of you. I don't want to be wrong. I see no other clarity of that at all. I'm looking here. Let's look at this. I'm looking at, where did I have so much information. I have tons of it. It says a solar year, Yom, defined by evening and morning, from the evening until the next morning. That's what it consists of. That's it. That begins that cycle and until the evening, from evening to evening. That's the day. That's Yah's day. So even in a 365 right here, 0.2, 12 months, 29.35 equal 1.037 days, but it all equals out to 32.5 common year between a leap year. I don't understand how that in these years now, this is when the intercalary year. You just had one you celebrating, because many are celebrating the tabernacle. They began in September, and those of a different degree, they will celebrate theirs beginning the 29th. You don't find that many people that post their feast days. I search all over. I'm a student. I'm not a master of nothing like many. But this right here says, now you'll bear with me. I'm getting used to this system. And so I have my friend out in Texas that he can go on my system anytime and assist me. But it says here, the intercalary year are numbers 3, every third year, 6. Now notice between 6 and 8 years, there are only 2 years, and that's what happened. 3 years, 11, and then between 11 and 14. You see that? It's only 1 year. So you're going to have an intercalary. See here, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17. You're going to have 3 years in here, and 19. How does that was what the Julian calendar used this kind of sequence. Lunar year is 354. A solar year is 365.25 days. It is chronicled in what we call the Metanic cycle. It began with Metan, a 19-year cycle. And that's just a fact. I've searched the annals of many resources. I've got to find that. This Jewish man, he denounced even the word Jewish because it's a lie. The word Jew is a lie. Fact. He calls us, we're the Yehudim. The word Jew is just a blatant lie. And there are those on the corners of New York and everywhere, we're the real Jews. I'm not a Jew. I'm of the Zerah, the seed of Abraham. I'm not of that. And so people will write me, well, your days are different than mine. No, my days are right. I know what I'm doing. I was just like you, starting out this cycle of life. I was just like you. And there were those that I trusted and believed. I trust Yisrael. I trust the messengers of Yah. These are him. I trust them. I trust any brother that's teach truth. His imams. And you must have line upon line, line upon line. You must have scripture that identify and promote. That those that have one or two words or one or two scriptures, and they get up and just talk, talk, talk. Or they say the same thing over and over again. That's not me. I'm not that caliber of a man. I teach from the vastness of this book, factual. I examine every word. Believe me, I examine every word. And I have probably, I don't say this boastfully, I know I have. One said to me, Ray, do you know what you got on that in that one file? That's over 100,000. And then there's one that's joining me tonight there in Texas, my precious Agiakob and my precious Akmakos. He said, Ray, do you know how many what you have in this file? Well, Marcos had already told me. So I'm a student of this book. I don't give you anything that is fraudulent and false. I'll tell you the truth. I expense truth. The book is truth. And everyone is following this false intercalary years, the numbers, and so they're going to always have the Pesach in the spring. Those in Russia, there are people of the family in Russia, in China, all over. He scattered his people everywhere. All those that were slaves, you think the vast majority came here? That's bogus. It was scattered through, it was sold in Europe and everywhere. Every country. In India. There's a group of people that were brought to India from Africa. They are called the Shalech. The slaves. They come out slave ships. And they are the most marginalized people in the earth. Their diet every day consists of rats and some rice. Very thin people. And for you to deduct, and even those that identify as Hebrew Israelites, now they take it on those in Africa because they will say such repulsive things about that continent. So you tell me, Hebrew Israelites, that there were no slaves sold in Africa on the coast, down the coast when they were selling from that part. And those out of Brazil, you really never recognized them. There were more slaves sold there than in America. That's where the wealth of the produce of everything from sugar cane, tobacco. It was the closest thing to selling the ships through that passage. They stopped there. And here in South Carolina and those coastal lands, and many were sold everywhere. New York and all over. It was sold. We've been taught a history that is so delusional. These are the only one. That's bogus bull. I want to re-engage. There were thousands of people that looked like me. Mr. Stalin invited them to show this corrupt country. They invited them to come to Russia, not to be slaves, to help them in their production of food. These men were scholars when it came to farming. And that's where you all have messed up. You think that's beneath you. We got to have a job somewhere sitting at our desk. We're not even healthy. We're fat, big bellies, and everything. Those people work. There's nothing like, well, I love working. I do. I work. God gives you a chance to come and see this place. It is such an amazing place. You have never seen nothing like this in your life. Period. It's an amazing place. It's beyond amazing. It's beyond that concept. It is a place where we're trying to galvanize and learn love. As I showed us the last time, the amount of people here, let me show you all again. I want to show you. I plan to with technology now. That's all right. Here, let me show you all. This is what was in this community. Can you see that? This is what? It doesn't look like this anymore, but this is the amount of people that lived here. Most of these people lived here. We were going to have a city. I was building a city. We were going to buy land and create bakeries and all kinds of things and grow food organically. You tell me that most men will not do anything to have a mass like that. They would lie and everything. And all these children are adults like me now. All that. We had everything we wanted, everything we needed. And this concept is not mine. Can you see that? Pretty, you can't see it. Can you see it? Let me know if you can see it. Can anyone see this picture? Is it visible? I'm in the process of getting things where you can, I can bring them up like I have here. Can you see that? Anyone, give me a yes or no. So you still cannot see it? Still can't see it? I want to get that fixed so we can. Wow, you can't see it either. What about here? Can anyone see it now? I need to put this up so I can show you. I'll do it. I'm not an expert on the system. I've got my friend in Dallas, Texas. He's an IT professional, and he does that. Can you see the writing here on these notes here? Is that visible? Let me see this. All right, let me try it again. Can you see it now? Can you see it? But I have it right here in front of the lens of the camera. You still can't see it? I'm right here. Can you see that now? You see all those people? You can see it? We're building a city here. That's what we were doing. That's what we were doing. All those people, all of them are adults now. Every last one of them. That's what we were building. And where are they now? Their condition. We are all right here, my friends. We are. I got this concept from an old Mississippi Baptist preacher. I did not develop this. And the only thing in life I hate above all things that makes me cry, I never went to visit the old man. He died some years back. I never went to see him. He did something so impressive that Wall Street Journal did an article on him. He did something so amazing. All the folks with him, they were on welfare. Many of these were on welfare. Took them off, sent them to school and things like that to learn. You're not beggars. I beg no man. I don't beg. You don't hear me begging for money on here. Send a gift. No, you send it, you don't. You don't hear me begging. These men are raping your daughters, even your sons. They have no honesty. Every young woman, these dogs want them. That's what I intend to see here. Just a greedy dog. They have no sense of care and love. And that's just a fact. They're perverted. Perverted old wicked men. That's what they are. Period. I'm not like them. We're building, and we still are building a city. We have a beautiful place. Let me say this. I just wanted to touch bases tonight. We had a delivery on the Shabbat. And of course, I got cameras here. I can see anybody coming in. We got cameras all around this place because they have tried that crazy with us, but you don't do that with us. We have expert hunters here. I mean, hunters. Agmarco's just an 8-pointer. And if you've seen that thing I said to son, that's a deer beloaf. There's a deer buffalo mixture. And no one is going to crash down on us here. You're not going to even sneak into this place. But there was a delivery on the Shabbat someone had ordered. It was Amazon, that they have their own delivery service here in the South, all over. And there was a Caucasian man and his wife. We have signs posted 5 miles an hour. You don't do it with that. I give you one shot. And I will deal with you even on that one shot. Every 50 foot, there's a sign. Industrial, state regulated, 5 miles an hour. You do fine. And I watched them as they came in. They came down the road. You could tell they were just looking. They were so engaged. And I could tell he was a Christian man because when he began to talk, the first thing he said is smile. And his wife was just overjoyed. This is such a beautiful place. And they see these 3 huge men of my color. Zakin Benjamin comes on the road to follow them. Zakin Ya Rabia, our leader, he comes out of his home, and I come out. And they all saw us engage. And when they saw the color of our skin, to see something this beautiful and magnificent, they were just carried away. All they could say, this is so beautiful. It's so peaceful. This is just so lovely. And if it had not been the Shabbat, I would have showed them around because I delight in showing people our community construct. I really do. I take great delight in that. Show them our dining facility that would match any dining facility. The beautiful homes and places of fellowship. I will show them. And they are so surprised when they see men that look like me, look like you. It blows their mind. It does. And all they could say was, wow. Oh, wow, this is so beautiful. And I said to him before they left, I said, sir, I want to say I can appreciate you doing what the speed limit says, 5 miles an hour. But they were doing that because they wanted to see. The people of your hill, you understand what we could do. But we're so selfish. There was a Caucasian preacher that I would deal with in the many years ago. And he would always say this, you people of your hill. He would say, you black folks, you have learned to be as wicked as white people. He was white. And he was a white boy. I despised the man. He wanted to give me money to buy this land. I said, I don't want your money. I can articulate better than T.D. Jakes and these big, fat, grubbing men and greedy. Same thing with the Hebrew Israelite leaders. Take all the money. Let's buy land. Let's buy land. You had the man in place to sell us this land for nothing. For nothing. Because he liked me. It's not my land, people. Let me say it's the few of us. When I go, Zachin Ya Ramaya will take over. It belongs to the people. I set it up that way. They can't sell it. Period. When there is no one here, it's all going back to the government anyway. but they will not be naked. We have to pay no taxes on this land because we are zoned as, quote, because the white man and the little young man of my hue, they were engineers. And they said, preacher, I tell you what, this is what we're going to do for you. We're going to zone this community as a church campground. We'll never come inspect anything. Never. Because he asked me, how much money will you make? I said, not one brown penny. I haven't. I get no salary. Everything I get goes into this place. And if God grants you a chance to come, you will see. You've never seen anything like this in your life. You're boasting, absolutely. Peace of Shalom is extremely beautiful. We had two brothers that visited us some time back from the Baltimore area. And I showed them, I say, let me show you. One said, I want to see that 5-bedroom house. And actually 6 bedrooms with a big old bathroom. I'll tell you what I want. I want a husband and a wife with about 6, 7 young'uns. An honorable, honest man. This is my type. And a mama that likes to walk barefooted and loves to work and loves to cook. Her daughters and her son, compliance and obedience. That's the prototype. I would love to have a family of that size to come. And then when I took them from there, I took them to my wife she names all of our homes. I took them to the one she called the house on the pond because we have a pond in front of the house. When I took them in, that one has 4 bedrooms. All of them have that bathrooms and a little kitchenette because we all eat together in a fabulous dining hall. You want to take something, you want to get you something, take it home and warm it up, we'll buy you something. That's fine. We have a very gorgeous place. Nothing like this. Not even the White House or the penthouse. It's factual. Full of shalom. Full of shalom. And we eat extremely well here. What we don't grow, well, we have to buy things. We do buy things. But it's of quality food. I don't put anything on the table here. I said to my show, we got to butcher cow when it gets a little cooler. And maybe a sheep and maybe a goat. That's how we do it here. Well, let me say this, pretty down there. People would come here. I would cook. I'm going to socialize with you just a moment. I have minimum 10 grills. I can put half of a cow, a calf, a whole calf on any of them. On my biggest one. 1, 2, 3. I have at least 10, 12 grills because I used to love to cook. And when they would come from the islands for the feast days, more damn, and they would come from all over. Believe me, they would. And they would tell me from the islands, especially like from Jamaica, they said, my friend, I tell you, this jerky here is better than that back home because I had my own style of jerky. I have my own style of jerky. I love cooking. I can't do it like I used to, my friends. My body is not like what it used to be. I was a very fit man, but I still have fitness. But all that I've done, lifting weights. I mean, my son said to me the other day, he said, Rayad, I saw a picture of you when I saw your thighs. And he said, you were gigantic of a man. Because I exercise every day, I lift weights. 225 pounds, I could dunk a basketball. I played basketball every day. And believe me that I played every day. I worked all day and I played. I walked everywhere. I just got me a cart, a gator, probably I would say close to about 10 years ago. I just wore myself out. Every kind of activity. I love that. I love that. Playing basketball, running. 10,000 steps. I would get on my stepper, dude. I had one of those old ones. We got a full-fledged gym. We got everything here. We got an NBA side basketball court. We got a swimming pool for our babies. We're going to redo that this winter. We're going to build ours. We have everything where you got places, the fish. We got a huge pond. You get fish. And I want me a little heavy set sister. That's all right. I will love you, daughter. And that she loves the fish, and our sons love the fish, and the daughters too. Go down and catch us some fish. Nobody around here fish. These Akim here love to hunt. And that's what they do. They hunt. They hunt. They hunt. And this is deer season now, believe me. And so that's how we do things. We can hang a whole 2 or 3 deers in our cooler. Food. I would say this, we probably got 10,000 jars that we've got. We welcome all my Peterson, the coming shalom. I have folks want to come and tell me, get off of these grounds, you fool. I didn't hear you. We welcome Yisrael. We welcome the fellowship. And there are those that have been crazy. I put off you. Hold up. This is my home, my friend. They want to show what they think they have. And so we as a people, we've learned to hate each other. All those Hebrew Israelites in New York and all over, the leaders live well. They rob the people. They take from them. Bring all them, they no different than T.D. Jakes and all them devils. Big hogs, eating pig feet and all of that. They're no different than them. Not one bit at all. The names that they call the people that look like them, I will never, period. I don't care how I disagree with the man. I will never dishonor the man. But you don't come here thinking you're going to rule here. That's not going to happen, period. That's not going to happen. I will let no one. You come in Shalom, you will enjoy yourself. Eat wonderfully. I have a friend from Ohio, and I'm going to close here. Every year we go to the beach. All the children, they travel. Almost every month we do something for them. They see more than your children in the cities and all of that, concrete jungles. Because the last trip they took last month, they went into the city of Charlotte and rode the electric train all throughout Charlotte, 2 hours all around the city. And the daughters, they love those thrift stores. They love going in those stores. I don't have time to waste. And so next month we'll have a fellowship day where we will cook everything from oxtails, you name it. Pretty. They're gonna have a ball here with fellowship and just eat and sing and dance. And then next month, November, they will go to the beach for a week. Everyone. And then there are those that will stay back. 2 weeks later, we will go to the beach. And they're always doing things, fellowship, going to parks and things like that, and enjoying each other. That's the way Yah intended for us to live. We have corrupted ourselves. We hate each other. Everyone wants to be a ruler. Get out of here. You don't rule on the job you work on. You must submit to someone. It's the fact, unless you own it. Get out of here. It's just real. And we have missed it all. We could have been a wealthy people, not beggars. I say this, and I am going to close. There is, and was, he was a very wealthy, he was a millionaire when he was 33 years old. His name was Ted Vick. I like Ted. In this Caucasian, he said to me, Ria David, I want to help you. I can get you money. He was a politician. So why don't you get them people to vote for me? So we vote for no one. Period. He said, I can get you some money. And back then I was a huge man, lifting weights every day, had 1,000 pound leg. I was a monster. I don't say that boastfully. And he was kind of a diminutive man. I was much bigger. It almost put my nose on his nose, and I said, I want to tell you something. We're not damn beggars. We beg no one for money. He was so amazed at that. He looked at me and he said, my. So he had a piece of land across the street from us, him and another man. And this is how they regarded us. We don't want nobody moving in near you. We bought the land on a personal loan. He gave me $2,000. I said, all right, you give me $2,000 as this gift. I'm writing you a check for $2,000. I'm putting it on that land. This is how we do it here. That's how we do it. And God has given me that kind of favor with men. We have no disturbance from the politicians. No one comes out to inspect our property. Nothing. One more thing. The school inspectors here. One year they came, one did. I had on a red shirt. I was out working, mowing grass, if I recall. He was a Clemson alumni. So he says to me, because the University of South Carolina, the colors are red. See, Gamecock fan, I said, I'm no fan of none of them. He was so overwhelmed, my friends. And this is no lie. I call for the principal, bring the records, everything, so he can see. He looks at me and said, I don't want to see your records. You hear that? He said, I don't want your records. I don't need to see them. I said, no, sir. You're going to look at our records. He said, I'm not. I said, daughter, get the records. She got me the records. She gave them to me. I gave it to him. He looked at it. He looked at it for 30 seconds. He said, here. He said, I've never seen a place like this. It's so unique. All schools should be like this. And they haven't sent, about 5 years later, they sent another one, an inspector. And he says to us, he went into school, see how the children reacted with each other, our courses, our curriculum. And the children quoted the Constitution to him. They spoke in sign language to him. And they spoke in Spanish because we teach them those things. You teach a child how and a desire to learn. I went to a segregated school until the 9th grade. And when I went to an integrated school, the Caucasians were as evil as hell. They did us wrong. They did not want to see us progress. It was not a fair situation. When they began to integrate schools here, especially in the South, and when that inspector saw that, when he came to inspect that school, he asked this question. All the people look like me. He said, who built this place? And our head school master said, our husbands, the men. We built this place. Nothing here but rattlesnakes and ticks when I came. You can't find a tick today. Period. Rattlesnake, copperheads, and ticks. My wife and I moved here, built an outhouse. I still got it. That's what it is. And as far as a job, I was going somewhere with IBM. My wife in her internship as a nurse. I didn't want to touch strange men with age back then. Nah. I'm going to stop there, my friends. I want to come on every night this week or every other night. And I want to talk on these feast days. I have a volume of information and knowledge. They're doing it wrong, my friend. They use the same intercalary system with Metan, what he created, and these Jewish lies. That's what it is. Nowhere in Torah you find that. He gave us from one moon to the next. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. And then the first month. And so our feast days will cycle all the way around. Yeah, you'll be keeping Pesach in January, like we will this year. What they have set up is a fake law, and you don't know. That's why you follow it. We don't have time to spend time in Torah. I've been here next year, March, 28 years. I spend my time in the book. I live simple. My little house, when I purchased it, $1,500, 16 foot wide, 32 foot long, but it's a beautiful place. It is. Cedar walls and all of that. It's a beautiful place. Hardwood floors. Simple place. I eat all I want in the dining hall. So I rejoice tonight, you all that have joined me. I certainly would love to have more, but I'm not the favorite type. My precious friend Ahmatan, we receive all that come in the Ruach, the spirit of Shalom. Receive them in that Ruach. And we welcome those to come and to visit. You're right, my friend. They follow it on. Hebrew Israelites and all. They follow the deception of lies, this Babylonian system. Let me say again, you'll visit that site, Chabad. I'm telling you, that's where every Jewish rabbi, they go to that site. Chabad, CHABAD.org. This right here. Chabad. This is the site right here. This one. This site. And don't tell me that I have tried to get information. You will see how all of this is just false. It's false. Yah has his set time. We're going to keep the Moedim according to Torah. Shemoth, he tells us how to do it. We have bought and purchased these rituals that were established by Hillel and the Lubavitch, those Jews from Russia, period. Abraham did not wear no big wool hats. He had on his garments. Moshe did not marry one from Russia. He married a woman that was a Cushi. She was an Ethiopian. That's what she was. We're going to be here at my Akpedi. We're going to teach on this. I especially during the winter when people get a little more relaxed. I'm going to teach. I will show us many things and show you the deception of the lies that are predicated upon lie. They're lie upon lie. Yabaruk, my friends, my friend, you come see us and just call us. Come see us and have a fellowship on the Shabbat, first day of the week, and just see the operation of a city. And that's what we are. We are a city. We supply what we need. We have greenhouses and everything. I got a garden right outside the door. We got greens. We got broccoli. There's a garden there. We got a 3-acre garden there. We got place. We have. Let me say this in closing. Our property is located. There's a creek that runs through the center of our property down the road. It's about a half a mile, quarter of a mile down the road. And then the property on that side, we had some of the most beautiful trees, popular trees. I had a fellow, he said, "Preacher, let me cut those trees down. That's money trees." I said, "No. I'm saving this for the Achim They go through a hard time. At least they got some investment here. And about 5 years ago, we had this deluge of rain. It killed, it turned. Oh, we have about 3, 4, 5 acres just under nothing but water. Period. And on the top of the hill, we have beautiful oak trees and we have pine trees. Yours, we're going to clean all that out, not the oak trees, and begin to grow and do our own feed for our chickens. We raise our goats, our cows. We raise all of that. Uh, we can do that. My desire before I leave this world is to build a beautiful log cabin. Everything here, our design, everything here, I was a part of the building process. Everything from our tabernacle to our restroom facility. One restroom I built by myself, laid the blocks and everything. I did it by myself. Yabaruk, my friends, we're going to stop here tonight. Be encouraged, all of you. Be encouraged. Send me an email, Clinton. And all of you, pretty all of you. Who is that? Rem Nathan. How do you pronounce that? Rem Nathan Manit Truth. All right, let me close tonight. Yabaruk, my friends, and be encouraged. May the blessings and the riches of Hamashir set upon your home, your loved ones, in Yahshua's name. Yabaruk, Yabaruk, Shalom. You want to sit down. You want to sit down.